Thank you so much for joining us. We've seen an increasing concern over AI-driven cyber threats, especially in mobile application, and also a significant rise in deepfake-related fraud cases, especially in Indonesia and the Asia-Pacific region. And to start our discussion, how do you see the current landscape of deepfake threats, and why are they becoming more sophisticated?
Well, I think that with the rise of AI and the use by the bad guys of AI, they're able to, propagate these deepfake attacks that the consumer simply cannot really understand or can defend against. It's really at this point up to the brands to protect the consumers in their mobile applications.
How significant is the threat of AI-generated deepfake, especially attacks in Indonesia, especially in industry like digital banking and also fintech and also e-commerce?
Yeah, it's a significant threat. Most C-level executives that we speak to here in Indonesia are very concerned. The vast majority are tracking the threats, really looking at it and trying to figure out what they can do to protect their businesses from these AI-driven threats that are only increasing worldwide.
Talk detail more about how, could you tell us how Appdome could protect the digital, fintech, and everything?
Sure. So Appdome is the leading AI-driven mobile security platform. So we protect the mobile businesses for the leading brands worldwide. At this point, we protect somewhere between 1.5 and 2 billion consumers. And so that gives us the ability to really see the threats as they're emerging globally and work with our customers to make sure that they are protected. And so basically what happens is our customers are able to replace humans trying to code security into mobile applications, which is a model that no longer works. It's simply too slow. And they're able to use the Appdome platform, which is an AI-driven platform, to add the protections that needed to be added into the application to protect the mobile business. And that's the mobile applications on the front end, as well as the APIs and the kind of back end piece of the business as well.
I see. With mobile fraud and also the cybercrime on the rise in Indonesia, how do deepfake attack consumer trust in biometric authentic and such as Face ID and also voice recognition? Because nowadays everything we use Face ID in our mobile phone.
That's right. So essentially, with the rise of AI, the bad guys have been able to decimate the Face ID market in about 3 months, right? So many of the brands out there have purchased technology from Face ID providers and installed that in their applications, and that simply is not enough any longer. Those Face ID and biometrics methods can all be bypassed. Those methods are no longer keeping consumers safe. So the only solution that is available in the market that works for deepfakes to really be able to protect the consumer and the brand against these deepfake attacks is Appdome.
Okay, Indonesia is experiencing rapid digital transformation. It's really fast, with millions relying on mobile apps for financial transaction. And how does Appdome's deepfake detection technology help secure mobile banking and digital payment platforms in the country?
So essentially what happens is, as we work with, financial services applications, we work with travel and transportation applications, we work with hospitality applications, retail applications, telco applications, so it's really beyond just financial services. Any application that is trying to use Face ID or biometrics to really authenticate the user, they need to be using the Appdome platform to build the protections into the application. And how it really works is we're able to use our AI-driven code to detect the methods and stop the methods in their tracks so that the consumer is protected.
All right. You already tell us more about how Appdome actually help to protect our application, but do Appdome have a plan in the future to work with our government?
We would love to, right? We work with many governments globally. I think I mentioned that Appdome's the leader in this space, protecting mobile businesses globally. So, we have customers all over the world, all of the big brands all over the world, and we work, of course, with many governments. So if we had the opportunity to work with the government here, we would love to have that opportunity. And many governments are trying to move quickly to try and protect their consumers, protect their end users from things like social engineering attacks, deep fake attacks, all these things that are going on that are, putting our consumers at risk.
All right. So which Indonesian industry are most vulnerable to deepfake-driven account takeovers, and how can business effectively implement Appdome's protection?
So as I mentioned, there's a number of industries that are at risk with the deepfake attacks. And really it's any application, any mobile application that has something of value in the application, right? So obviously there's money. If there's money, if it's a wallet application, right, in your bank account or your financial services application, that's going to be a high target application. But it's not just that; it's anything that has any value. So it could be rewards points. It could be you know, I don't know, really anything where they can gain something, the bad guys can gain something is what they're targeting. And so it's at this point impossible for the brands, right, to be able to protect their technology, protect their mobile applications themselves. So they really, because the AI is moving too fast.
Yeah.
So even if in the past they could have done it in a manual fashion, they no longer can. So they have to be working with a company like Appdome, who as their strategic partner in this space will make sure that they stay safe.
Can you compare Indonesia with other countries about the security of digitalization and also the case in deepfake crimes?
Yes, so Indonesia is a mobile-first economy and a very large, has a huge population, obviously. So we expect to see rapid growth here in Indonesia, as we have in other mobile-first economies around the world. And as such, we see that there are a significant number of attacks. At this point, we estimate about somewhere between 5 and 14% of the Indonesian population has malware on their consumer device, on their mobile device already, right? And that's before they even realize what's happening. So, it's time to make sure that we're doing something about this.
All right. So, how is the Indonesian has the high and significant case? What are the sentiment that causing about this?
I don't think it's a sentiment thing that's causing it. I think what causes it is the ability for, for the bad guys to be able to target something of value and make it happen. And this is no longer like a young man in his basement. These are organized crime activities, right? Who are really using bot farms, using AI-driven attacks at scale to target, a bank or target many banks, and they just keep going on and on with different methods until they're actually, delivering to themselves significant businesses. I think there was an attack here recently where it was a significant deepfake attack that was felt by some of the Indonesian economy. As well as a recent article that came out that talked about, as much as $138 million being lost from one attack in particular. So the numbers are quite significant because with the AI-driven attacks, the bad guys can do this stuff at scale using bot farms and, other things like that.